week number 10 of the Pairs Cup. It's a beautifully controlled break from Scott, but no friends. And first poke here is going to go to boys in red, Aaron Newton and Josh Connolly.
Controlled but not powerful. Felt like he took a lot off that. That can only have come from the practice table to kind of go in there and be more controlled and take something off it. Or it could just be a slightly tentative opening break. We'll find out, but it's an interesting first chance because you mentioned the first opportunity for these two could be big, just getting the feel for it out there, getting that first frame on the board. It's a layout they want to take on, but it's a tough layout. The two yellows together are slightly awkward. 8 balls guarded, and that is not going to help things, or is it? No, don't think the yellow's on. If the yellow was on, then it has solved some problems, but I think the red's just in a way. Yellow off yellow is a bold shot, but playing it in such a way where unlikely to leave an easy layout, and that's certainly the case.
Shaun, one of the great overthinkers of this game. And I mean that as a compliment. It can be a negative, but I think the way that Shaun thinks about the game of 8-ball is really, really good. Constantly looking to find little 1% here and there. I think for all the ability that he has, really has maximised that as much as possible. Probably more than most other pro players. Ever since Ultimate Pool's inception, he's not just started well, he's continued to improve. Lovely opening pot. Now they can get to work, and it is work here.
Yeah, the fact they've taken that on, do they feel they could squeeze the red in bottom left? Now the two together are also a problem, but you can see if you can get underneath them. No, they're just trying to make something happen there. So that red obviously didn't squeeze in. They're going to keep going here because what else can you do? But that red left down the table is a real problem. I wonder if there's an argument for saying if it went as a double, play it now. It's too awkward to clip it to the top left. Okay, so he's pulled back for it but misses the ball.
Yeah, it really was all in from Shaun Storry and Scott Gillespie, and this is a very presentable chance here for Josh Connolly and Aaron Newton. First frame could be so big. If they can win it against the group favourites, well, who knows where tonight will end up. So many good players in this group. The class of it, and I like the way you put it earlier on site, is Shaun and Scott, and that's based off pure consistency. And right now they've got a hope of getting back to the table because that wasn't the nicest outcome from Aaron Newton.
I just wonder whether they should have played that shot first time round rather than wasting a shot before playing the plant. The only reason is that you have then another opportunity to go into it. But I guess they had the angle to go into it there. It's just that Josh missed it. And now they are in. Play the yellow just to reach the cushion and get the cue ball just to stop underneath the red. I think it's a touch on the thin side. Maybe bring it back off to get back in the way. Yeah. The only downside of that, because of having to play it firmer, is the yellow still doesn't go. Whereas if you could see more of the yellow so it just reaches the pocket and you leave it very close to the red, the yellow goes and you limit the safety options quite significantly. The fact that you have to play it that way would suggest they're now behind in this exchange. It certainly should be. For two players as experienced as Scott and Shaun, they should win this frame now.
Pretty good shot that from Scott Gillespie. Full ball snooker on both balls. And the easier one to hit is the one they want them to hit.
I think his reaction tells us that turned quite a bit. You can see the finger marks actually there on the overhead. It's just dangerous to play a shot in that way is very dangerous.
Good hit from Josh. No real damage done.
Patience.
Yeah, it's exactly that, isn't it? For Shaun and Scott, they both know they absolutely should win this frame. And the best way to do that is just wait, which is against both their instincts. They're both attacking players. I have a suspicion he's just going to give that red ball a little bit of company down the table, just in case they get the option to do it themselves.
It would be nice to get one down the other side of the table as well, but yeah, I agree that get that ball down there can become a potential good breaker ball.
It's a good example there as well, Saif. You say it a lot. When you're playing any kind of shot, especially a tactical exchange, you're always trying to advance your own game. And they got a good cue ball there, which is what they were looking for first and foremost. It wasn't the complete snooker he was targeting. But they also did something with the red, developed that into a potential good situation. Always thinking.
There's another example of it, although slightly less so, but just promoting a red into a slightly better position. I really don't see how they win this frame without a mistake here.
Extension called.
Keeps looking at the potting angle here. It's very, very thin, but he must be looking at it off the yellow rather than direct. But that looks too thin from here and hampered queuing. No, he's not even doing it. So.
It's not the worst outcome in the world. Cue ball in hand doesn't really help them too much because it would be a very brave move to go for this.
Well, I don't think they will. I really don't. I want to get a red down there.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, you could, with cue ball in hand, play a nice little snooker and leave a really horrible one, but what are you gaining there? You're only gaining cue ball in hand. What Shaun got for us here. Looks like he's going forward. Yeah, your plan was there. And now yellows are right up against it, and reds have a very obvious route of securing the frame.
Now they can go. Problem is, you'd have to go up the table to come back down the table to get the angle you want. So maybe one safety more. Ball in hand would be lovely. Might have left the edge of the yellow, but you can't do anything with it other than move the red. So.
Not exactly an ideal scenario. Does this yellow go bottom right maybe? Is he going to try and kick it back? He might have tried.
I think it was just try and get it going somewhere towards the pocket in terms of it was the last effort really. Josh knew in that situation that whatever happens, whether he moves that yellow or not, he's going to be giving away the chance to go and win the frame, because if he gives away ball in hand trying to hit the other one is the easiest breakout shot in the world. Might as well have a, you know, even if it was a 1 in 1,000 digger trying to do something.
That's okay. Still on this red to bottom left.
Yeah, go a few different ways around this one, but ultimately nothing in the way here.
Except maybe the middle pocket, which you just had to be aware of. He was.
We had one meeting before that agreement coming over last month. He's your choice it was.
Just he goes in the background. They're almost calling his shot. And if I think of Scott Gillespie and the way that he plays the game, I think of so many shots exactly like this. Mid-table, sort of just off straight, punchy shots. Those are the ones that he really loves to leave himself. Had a brilliant 2024, his final year on the Ultimate Pool Pro Tour. Final of the British Open, won the European Open.
He was fabulous in that British Open. He really was. He was the player of the tournament.
Yeah.
Didn't walk away with the title.
Yeah, he was by far and away the best player across the tournament, but Tom Cousins did him in the final in typical Tom Cousins fashion. It was a fabulous watch, though. And Scott Gillespie, who punches in the first 8 ball of the night. It took a while, but they were prepared to wait their turn. 11 minutes played of match number 1. And Scott Gillespie and Shaun Storry are up and running.
Last week we had a week where every frame felt like a big event. That was a big event, that first frame, because it lasted over half the match.
So first singles frame of the night. That was Scotch doubles. Singles for the next couple here. We start with Aaron Newton. Pack has not opened up for him at all. And he seems to contact it pretty well. I just wonder if he caught the front ball almost on the volley there, which has just killed the explosion.
It bounced off it, so shame we didn't get to see it the super slow-mo from the other angle, because you really get to see that ball bouncing down. It wasn't the most powerful, but it was square and there was power in there, so yeah. Strange one that we see from time to time. Didn't leave anything on for Shaun, so we're back into another tactical exchange here.
And really for Aaron, it's sort of the last thing he wants to be involved in. He's a super talented player, but tactical play and safety play and these sorts of exchanges are so much about experience. And that's the thing that he's always going to have a disadvantage with against someone like a Shaun Storry or a Scott Gillespie.
We'll be very surprised if Shaun gets drawn into taking on something low percentage. He's going to try and force Aaron to do that. And I know it sounds strange because it's only frame 2 of the match, but that's because of the match situation. 1-0 as this clock ticks down is huge.
Yeah, already only 6 and just over a half a minute left. And if Aaron's looking to bait Shaun Storry, he might be the man who's got the most patience out of pretty much anybody on the Ultimate Pool Tour. He's involved in, I think, the longest frame in Ultimate Pool history earlier on this year in the British Open. He and Callum Singleton went at it, makes it sound almost exciting, but competed in a frame for the better part of 3 hours. So if you want a man to be patient, Shaun Storry will sit there all night if he has to.
It doesn't happen very much in this rule set. I have to say it wasn't televised. Not sure if that's
Thank
a good
goodness.
thing or a bad thing.
I think I'd have invoiced overtime.
Yeah, I think the match was 3 hours, but I think the final frame, the decider, was about an hour and a half. But something silly like that, which I didn't think was possible in this rule set.
Yeah, and in football terms, it's the same sort of thing, really. An ugly 1-0 is sometimes the best way to win it, and that might be what Shaun and Scott are going to play for here. 5 minutes left. The 15-second shot clock is going to inject a little bit of pace into these two gentlemen's frame here, though. It's coming
Well,
in 5.
At some point, Aaron has to go. He's not there yet. He's far from there yet. But it is worth noting that the person behind will eventually have to buckle and go for something. Might be tempted here. But are those two reds makeable as a plant to top right, and then red's doable? Just a thought. He's going to go yellows, or attempted yellows. But I just didn't like the yellow in the triangle area. I don't see that coming out.
So we are now in the 15-second shot clock part of the match.
Does Shaun get tempted? If it left Shaun the yellow to right centre with the angle, he absolutely would be going. Is he going to try and get there himself? Almost a ball lower than he is now. That gives him the angle to go into the 8 ball and yellow. But I think that's a wise choice. I really do. It's an experienced player just saying, do you know what, I'm odds against making this finish. I don't want to make the game easy for you.
And he's almost given him the yellow to the left centre. And Aaron's going to take it. And now it just becomes, is Aaron capable of getting out from here? Well, there's your answer, is he wasn't. Not this time.
Now, there could be a thought here for reds. No, going to continue.
I was going to say, what's the thought?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that the one below the 8 ball goes. You've got, a little mini cluster there that they should pop into play, whereas I don't think the yellow does, but I think the reds will. I could have seen him be aggressive there, but I think he's making the right decision for the match situation.
Another wide from Aaron. Again, another question for Shaun Storry. Does he want it? It's not often we see many safety exchanges on a 15-second shot clock, but it's no surprise to me that Shaun Storry's involved in one. He continues to bait Aaron Newton. This time, very presentable pot. So he's going to get started. Mind your cue ball. You could leave in a pretty devilish snooker here, maybe. Touching ball has been called.
Tricky. I'm not sure the touching ball will help him much.
Still has to hit a cushion after contact.
A little bit short this time for Shaun, as he left him on the red below the 8 ball with an angle to try and power into them. Maybe it's too straight. Down into the final 2 minutes.
And it can get a bit nervy for Shaun here as well, because if he makes any mistake, well, you won't win, you'll get out with a draw.
I think you've got to tell yourself, though, if you're Shaun, that the mistake he can make in this situation, yeah, the worst that can happen is it goes 1-1. But also, what he wants to see happen is Aaron take on a low percentage finish. So, every now and then, a wild finish can be made. So sometimes you just have to accept that. But it would be what he wants to see. That progresses things forward just a touch. Shaun definitely has to be more careful now. There's only one red tied up. Well, one red at the bottom tied up, the one at the top. But got to be careful not to leave anything to deal with those 2 balls. And he's decided, with less than a minute to go, it's his turn to start potting. Has he calculated this right? Probably has. There's 30 seconds when he strikes the ball. Guaranteed, if this goes in, he's on another one. 2 simple pots to follow. He has just worked this out like a master, hasn't he? Just worked out the timing, worked out the tactical exchange, kept saying over to you, over to you, over to you. And now all I've got to do is pot 3 balls.
He's not daft, is Shaun Storry. He has played young Aaron Newton there like a fiddle. That was a masterfully handled second frame of the match, and he does indeed close it out 1-0. Jose Mourinho-esque. Match 2 coming up.